Miller Homes Group is proud to bring you MHG Life. We have miles of coastline, big cities, small towns, wide open spaces in West Texas, the piney woods of East Texas, massive ranches to intimate little condos in cities, a proud history and heritage, and a future that's brighter than most states. This is MHG Life. Hi, this is Terry Miller, and welcome to this week's edition of MHG Live. Callie's in the studio with me again.
I am.
We got a kind of a good thing going here.
I think so. I think we drive well.
The show's being well received. Mm-hmm. I'm very excited about that. We want to bring as much information to buyers and sellers so that they're informed.
That's our job.
Yeah, that's our job, and it's very important that they know who they're talking to and what they're talking to and how to pick good agents and what to do. Now, there's plenty of good agents that aren't at Miller Homes Group.
Plenty
of them, but we want them to know exactly how to pick that good agent. Mm-hmm. That's important to us.
Yeah.
Because if they end up on one of our listings or something, we want to be working with someone that knows how to get the deal done and makes it a win-win for everybody. Mm-hmm. We still do have people in our business that don't make things a win-win, don't we?
There's a few.
Yeah, there's a few. And so our goal is to always have a win-win with another agent, always to make our client and their client happy with the transaction so that their dreams come true.
Right. Mm-hmm.
That's important to me more than anything. You would be surprised how many folks don't care if both parties get what they want in a deal, and that's bad business.
That kind of hurts.
Yeah, I want everybody to get what they want in the deal. Yeah, they want to sell the house, they want to buy the house. All right,
make it work.
Let's get out of the way and let it happen.
That's right. We'll be right back here with our first guest in just a moment.
This is MHG Life, sponsored in part by the following.
We can show you how to save money on your insurance without sacrificing important protections for your home, auto, and more.
All you have to do is go to thegooseheadguide.com, enter your home address, and click Let's Do This.
Normally when shopping online, you get inundated with phone calls from multiple agents. Here, you get a licensed insurance professional from our local office reviewing your situation and making a qualified recommendation from within our portfolio of over 80 carrier options.
With Goosehead Insurance, FOP Agency, we know time is money, so we'll save you both.
Getting a home loan shouldn't feel like an obstacle course. At CMG Home Loans, getting a loan is simple. Our loan officers are here for you every step of the way. With over 2,000 five-star reviews, when you're ready to buy or refi, we'll work together to find the loan you need for the home you love. CMG Home Loans. Simplified, trusted, committed.
The greatest feeling in the world as a real estate agent is getting a couple into their first home and putting a couple into their last home.
No matter how big Miller Homes Group may become, they will always be your hometown real estate company.
We make our money the old-fashioned way. We sell you a house. I want to be one of the ones that everybody runs to and says, there's a model. They take care of their customers first.
Miller Homes Group, your hometown real estate company. Find an agent online at millerhomesgroup.com.
Thanks to these great sponsors for supporting MHG Life.
Welcome back to MHG Life, and today we have Miss Jordan Young.
Hey.
How are you?
Good, how are you?
She one of my favorites.
Are you sure?
Yeah, all these guys are my favorites. There's going to be a recurring theme when people come on the show. One of my favorites. And they are. So, well, I got to be honest with you. You were Rookie of the Year a few years ago with Katie.
Yes.
Katie took the Longview area, you took the Tyler and the other areas.
Yes.
You started out on a team and were muddling along, kind of average, and then all of a sudden you got out by yourself and exploded.
Very quickly.
I mean, you went nuts. It's like somebody took the handcuffs off and pointed you down the road.
Right.
So, in all fairness, you have a daughter that I proudly claim as a granddaughter.
Yes, she talks about you all the time, and she's like, "Are you going to see the guy who steals my hat?"
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
She wears my hat all the time. We took you out to a capper's lunch because you cap type deal, just as a congratulations, a rookie capper, and I insisted that you bring her.
Yes,
and
yes.
we had a blast, and because that's who you are.
Yes.
We don't realize in our business sometimes that people want to know who we are, and everything you revolve around family.
Yes, big time.
And now you're taxidermying birds.
Yes.
Okay, and as I said before, you don't have to worry about me because I can't hit them things anyway. But Kelly, y'all been friends for a while.
Yep.
We have been.
Yeah, you just kind of.
I about fell out of the
I'm
chair.
gonna push you out of the chair. That stays in. That stays in. You kind of live up
Lake Fork.
Lake Fork area, but you cover all the way down to Tyler, all the way over to Canton.
All the way. My first deal that I ever did was a double deal, and it was in Mount Pleasant. I've gone all the way to Avenger, up to Canton, Greenville area. Just wherever the money calls me is where I go.
Your customers love you too.
Yes, I love them too.
Well, yeah, it kind of works out that way.
Yeah,
You have to, because if you hate
yeah.
them, it's just a bad deal from the get-go.
Well,
Yeah.
here's the deal. If you're not a match, you just give them to another realtor in the company and let them take care of them. There's times when you're not a match with a client, and you would call Callie, or you would call Renee, or you'd call somebody and say,
Yes.
hey, can I match you up with these folks? We just don't match. And so that way the customer gets what they want, okay, and they stay within the company, and everybody's
Right.
happy. And
Right.
I like that. You guys are real proactive about that. We don't get real territorial.
Yes.
And so
There's plenty of business for us to not be territorial.
Oh, I
a lot
know.
of people, a lot of realtors don't realize that.
oh yeah, we've dealt with those. They think because they're in that area, nobody else should be in that area. It's
Yep.
their territory.
Yes.
And I have to explain to them, did you take the same licensing exam I
Right.
took? So that doesn't. The main thing in you got a little bit softball.
Yes, softball.
So we got doing the softball, doing the taxidermy.
Yes. And then it's deer season is about to start.
Oh yeah, you're
So
done.
we have that, and then
Yeah, you're done. Yeah, we got.
We don't see or hear from her until the first of the year.
yeah. In November, the answer is no. That's why it's called November for a reason.
Yeah, no shaving and no nothing. We just keep going knowing. So yeah, all that deal. The main thing that I like about you, you revolve around your family, you get business in, you got a husband that supports everything you do.
I couldn't do it without him.
He's your biggest fan.
He's my best friend.
Yeah.
Yes.
This dude is, I love being around you, but I just soon be around him sometimes.
I know. Sometimes if I go on, because he has you friends on Facebook, and
Yeah.
he'll be like, "Did you see what Terry posted today? It was so funny." And I'm like, "My day was good, babe. How was yours?"
Well, I gotta, maybe I'm bipolar a little bit on Facebook. So
Yeah.
we'll just call it that.
A little bit?
A little bit. I go from having anger issues to happy issues.
They
but
all
yeah,
make me laugh.
Yeah, we just have fun with it. So it's one of those things. Now, you guys met at the company, and then y'all live kind of closer together. up
Yes,
that
yeah,
way.
yep.
And in that same age group, so you relate to customers that I don't.
Because you're an old fart.
Yeah, I'm an old fart. Yeah, I'm an old fart. I love that. But and that's what's really great is you take a young couple that loves to hunt and fish and maybe has a bird dog or maybe has some of those things.
Right.
I'm going to send to you. And
No, I'm going to send them to her.
I'm going to send to her.
I have that is not my sphere of
Yeah,
influence.
you're on
that
the
is
other
her.
end. Yeah, you're on the other end, the cattle farms and the things like that.
Yeah, and
So-
there's been times where I've called Callie and I'm like, "Hey, so-and-so is doing this, what do I do?" And she always has an answer for me. So I love how everybody's just so willing to answer the phone at any time at our brokerage. That's the best thing.
I get, and of course I'm always available, but I get fewer phone calls the more we let you guys kind of
Right.
intertwine with each other,
Right.
because y'all know how I think. Our regionals, we have Renee who will be on in another episode, and Linda who will be on another episode. They know exactly how I think. And so when an
Yes.
agent calls them, they're going, well, here's what Terry would say.
Linda has helped me
Yeah.
so many different times with oil field issues.
Oh, she crazy.
Yes, I mean
She good, but she crazy. I love her.
Yes.
Yeah, and but it takes a little bit of that, and we have, not at our firm, but we have agents in other offices around that want to make everything a mountain and want to make a problem out of everything.
Yes.
And we are very good to have agents who just say, let's do what we need to do, but stay out of the way and let the seller and the buyer get this deal completed, and we assist the way we should. And that's the way business should be, a win-win. You guys are the master of that. I got to ask you,
Oh gosh.
favorite deal?
My favorite deal.
I got her.
You did.
You're at a loss for words.
I
just
did
saw this
because I
before.
love them all. I think probably my favorite deal.
Or funniest or whatever.
Oh, I got some stories.
Yeah, I understand.
So I think all my deals are my favorite, but my funniest showing I ever had was, so I conceal carry everywhere I
Yeah.
go.
Oh, absolutely.
And as a realtor, it's, very important to do that because you just never know.
No, we encourage that at Miller Homes Group.
Yes, yeah, absolutely. Well, I got to a house a little bit earlier and I had to use the restroom before my clients got there. So I take my belly band off, put it on the counter, use the restroom, and I hear them knocking at the door. So I'm like rushing out, panicking. I'm
Left
like,
the
oh,
gun on the counter.
I did. I left the gun on the counter and I'm showing them this house and they're from Washington. And so,
Oh, they're not used to that.
No, and so whenever they come in, I'm like, here's the master bathroom. And then I was like, and there's my 380. Let me grab it really fast. And so I did. And immediately they were shocked, but at the same time they're like, man, we really like Texas. And so, and I think that was probably, and that honestly probably was my favorite deal because it was my first deal.
Yeah, doing real estate in Texas is kind of crazy sometimes, isn't it, Cal?
I mean, shared water meters, septic tanks that are across the street.
Yes, definitely. It's insane.
We've all had that. Yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
yep.
Or the trailer houses. There's 2 or 3 trailers all hooked up to one
Oh my
septic,
gosh.
one water
I
meter.
heard
They've
that.
been moved there, and somebody wants to sell it.
Running them off generators.
Running off generators.
No power pole.
Oh my God, we've had it all, and that's common. East Texas was kind of the first area that was lot and block to Texas, and we went across. So you've got some stuff that have been long, many, many years
Right.
in the making, and then when somebody gets down to the second or third air and now they want to sell it, they're shocked at how much money it takes to actually do things right.
Yeah.
Grandpa went to the courthouse and says, yeah, I gave him 5 acres. Well, then they get it surveyed out. Yeah, here's my property line, the fence, this, that, and the other. It's 3.6. They've been advertising it as 5 acres. What's worse, they've been paying taxes on 5 acres.
Yeah.
So yeah, lots of fun stuff. Then we get ag exemptions.
Yes. Those are good.
Those are fun.
They're always good.
Yeah, they're fun. They go back and pick it up, the back taxes if you don't
Right.
carry on the ag
And sometimes they're a bit hard to determine too because I have ran into situations where, usually 10 acres is the ag tax.
Right.
But I've had people that have 9 acres,
You're right.
8.7 acres, and if they have flowers or bees, they'll pass them.
Yeah.
So that's good to know as well too.
And depending on the county, they just require receipts. Now,
Right.
if it's a county that requires pictures and receipts, the pictures have to be time-stamped of when they were taken so that you can't just go out there and take.
right, from last year or
I mean,
get
like,
your ag
oh,
exemption.
yes.
You
correct.
take a picture of your neighbor's cows.
One goat, yeah.
Yeah, one goat. Yeah, one goat, and then that weekend that goat is in the barbecue pit, right? So we know exactly how that goes. Well, we have farms and ranch kind of your deal. You grew up around cattle, okay? Country girl, hunting, fishing.
Yeah.
Everybody, it seems like at my place, raises chickens. We're going to talk about those in a little while. So I mean, it is. We have some of the best realtors in the world. I tell everybody, somebody will ask me about, and I say, well, how do you want them? They can dress like a debutante, or they can come like a cowgirl. How do you
Right,
want them?
and that's one big thing that I was very hard on because my aunt and uncle, they're Tyler residents, and they were big shot realtors for a long time.
I remember 'em. I
Really
got to
dumb
meet
with
'em.
their money, and they ended up learning the hard way. Well, now they're custom home builders, and so we partner up together, and we do a lot of deals together.
Met them. They're good
Yes,
people.
they really are. Now, whenever I was talking to her, she said, don't get flashy, don't change yourself, don't
No.
go and spend all this money on a new wardrobe, just be yourself. And I think I have won more clients over and made more money that way than completely changing myself. And that's the best thing about Texas,
And that's-
especially East Texas.
And that's who we are.
Yes.
We'll be right back to MHG Life. This is MHG Life, sponsored in part by the following.
Getting a home loan shouldn't feel like an obstacle course. At CMG Home Loans, getting a loan is simple. Our loan officers are here for you every step of the way. With over 2,000 5-star reviews, when you're ready to buy or refi, we'll work together to find the loan you need for the home you love. CMG Home Loans. Simplified, trusted, committed.
The greatest feeling in the world as a real estate agent is getting a couple into their first home and putting a couple into their last home.
No matter how big Miller Homes Group may become, they will always be your hometown real estate company.
We make our money the old-fashioned way. We sell you a house. I want to be one of the ones that everybody runs to and says, there's the model. They take care of their customers first.
Miller Homes Group, your hometown real estate company. Find an agent online at millerhomesgroup.com.
I'm Terry Miller with MHG Life, and if you've ever thought about having a title company represent you and do what's right for you when you sell or you purchase a home, Terry Title is my choice. TerryTitle.com will do everything you need to make sure your home purchase goes smooth on the title end. You can reach them at 903-991-3512 or TerryTitle.com. Welcome to Talking with Terry, and today I'm going to discuss inspections with you. Now, if you're a buyer or you're a seller, you know, inspector comes out, but I'm going to tell you something about inspectors. They can't find everything. What they do is they turn on the water, they check the electrical, they get in the attic, they want to see things, and if you've got an older house, you're going to see things like, well, maybe the pipe from the water heater isn't code nowadays, but it was then. You're going to have some breaker box issues. That's what they're there for. They can't find leaks under the slab. They can't find those type of things. Think about it for a minute. You're paying, you know, $300-400 for a great inspection that just basically goes over everything. Should it work as it should work? Does the air conditioner cool properly? Dishwasher run? They're not there to dig behind the walls or do anything like that. The most important thing an inspection does for you is let you know that everything's working at the time of inspection. We have people move in, let's say we got a little older couple, and they don't really use much. Toilet only gets flushed a few times a day, dishwasher gets run every 3 or 4 days. You buy the house, you move in with 3 or 4 kids, and all of a sudden, showers are getting used massively, dishwashers getting run twice a day, washing machines getting run twice a day, these type of things, and all of a sudden, oh my God, we got a backup in the plumbing, we got this, the seller hid something. No, the seller didn't hide anything. That seller didn't have the volume and the use that you did. And so those are things you have to consider when you're doing that. A good inspector points out they worked at the time of inspection. I inspected this, and they let you know, they take pictures, they do the right things. The key to finding a good inspector is talk with your real estate agent. They should give you 3 or 4. We'll have one on the show eventually, but I want you to understand we don't take any money from inspectors at Miller Homes Group or any of the companies we're associated with. We want them to do a very, very good job for you, and all we're doing is making a referral to you. And what they can do is notice things like soil and things that don't work properly that need to be fixed. It's their job to find a few little things or a few major things to make sure that your purchase is what you want it to be. This has been Talking with Terry, and we'll be back with MHG Life. This is MHG Life, sponsored in part by the following.
We can show you how to save money on your insurance without sacrificing important protections for your home, auto, and more.
All you have to do is go to thegooseheadguy.com, enter your home address, and click Let's Do This.
Normally when shopping online, you get inundated with phone calls from multiple agents. Here, you get a licensed insurance professional from our local office reviewing your situation and making a qualified recommendation from within our portfolio of over 80 carrier options.
With Goosehead Insurance, FOP Agency, we know time is money, so we'll save you both.
I'm Terry Miller with MHG Life, and if you've ever thought about having a title company represent you and do what's right for you when you sell or you purchase a home, Terry Title is my choice. TerryTitle.com will do everything you need to make sure your home purchase goes smooth on the title end. You can reach them at 903-991-3512 or TerryTitle.com.
Getting a home loan shouldn't feel like an obstacle course. At CMG Home Loans, getting a loan is simple. Our loan officers are here for you every step of the way. With over 2,000 5-star reviews, when you're ready to buy or refi, we'll work together to find the loan you need for the home you love. CMG Home Loans. Simplified, trusted, committed.
The greatest feeling in the world as a real estate agent is getting a couple into their first home and putting a couple into their last home.
No matter how big Miller Homes Group may become, they will always be your hometown real estate company.
We make our money the old-fashioned way. We sell you a house. I want to be one of the ones that everybody runs to and says, there's a model. They take care of their customers first.
Miller Homes Group, your hometown real estate company. Find an agent online at millerhomesgroup.com. Terrell, Texas lies just 32 miles east of Dallas. The city, with a population of just under 20,000, hosts an annual World War II Veterans Reunion and also features a busy downtown shopping district. One of the highlights of this shopping district is the Reisinger's Country Store, a Western apparel shop for men, women, and children. If you're looking to dress to impress for a special event or perhaps just a night on the town, then look no further. We were lucky enough to speak with the owner and operator, Marie Reisinger, as she gave us a little bit of the backstory on Reisinger's Country Store.
My name is Marie Reisinger. I opened the store back 50 years ago and have worked here ever since. So I own and operate the company. We were at another location on the same block at the other end of the block. We were there until 1993 and we were able to purchase this building, and so we moved here in 93. But we have operated the entire 50 years on this block. It's been a joy and privilege to me. Evidently, I wouldn't be here 50 years if it wasn't. I like what I do. I enjoy the customers who come in. I consider them to be my personal friends.
Marie gives us a little insight into just how much her day-to-day life has changed after what has been an incredibly difficult year for business owners everywhere.
Well, right now, during the pandemic, I do everything. In the past, that has not been the case, but I have to do the displaying, I do the buying, I do the selling, I do the bookwork, and so I pretty much do it all.
Of course, no Western apparel store would be complete without a fine assortment of hats. Reisinger's Country Store not only sells the finest cowboy hats, but also offers on-site hat shaping.
I primarily do that to shape the hats that I sell. I do, other people do bring their hats here because there's not someone local that I know of that does that. A man's hat is kind of like a lady's hairdo. They all have their personal style.
So if you find yourself in Terrell, Texas and are in the market for some Western apparel that's sure to turn heads, make sure you stop by Reisinger's Country Store. Their warm and friendly service is something that you won't find at the big box stores. You'll be sure to find everything you need in their spacious store on Highway 80. But if it's a custom fitting you're after, make sure you go see Marie, and always keep supporting these locally owned businesses that you're going to find keeping Main Street reborn.
Welcome back to MHG Life, and today we have Miss Katie Ellis.
Hi.
I have a quick question for you.
Okay.
What is the deal that stands out the most in your career?
Oh, goodness. Probably the one where I received a call from a couple moving here from Washington State. They had driven by a listing that I had, gave me a call and wanted to look at it, and I asked if I was available, and actually I was in the living room with my 4-year-old son, or 3-year-old son that wasn't even in school yet. I'm a stay-at-home mom and also a real estate agent, and they told me their budget, and I also knew the price of home they were looking at, and I thought, I gotta figure out a way to show them this house. So I actually called my dad, and I was like, hey, this is the situation. Can you watch Cole? And he was
Wasn't it his house?
Yeah. No, the house was my mother-in-law's house.
Your mother-in-law, it was your mother-in-law's house. It was a relative's house.
And
yeah.
she was at work, and anyway, and a lot of times I just, bring them with me, but they said they had several homes to look at in the area within like a 30-mile radius, and I thought this is going to take all day. So drop my son off with my dad, and I go take him to look at my mother-in-law's house, and then we look at other homes that same day, and her house is in Gladewater, so I drove to Bullard, Ben Wheeler, Canton, Lindale, and showed them about, maybe 7 homes that day. And there was one they really liked, but then they also had their eye on some in the Longview area. So then the next day we drove to New Diana, Marshall, Carthage, Hallsville, Longview, and looked about 6 or 7 homes there. And they thought on it and ended up going with a home in Ben Wheeler. Cash buyers, closed in 2 weeks. I bought my dad a bottle of Weller and told him thank you.
Well, but there's a backstory to that, isn't there? When they called you, they had an agent.
Yes.
They had an agent that they had talked to that ghosted them, wouldn't answer the phone,
Yes.
and they were going to be in town for just a few days.
Absolutely, yes. They called and they said, we want to look at this property. And I said, okay, well, are you already represented by a real estate agent? Because for them to have driven all the way to Washington, they had to have been in touch with another agent. And they said, yes, however, he is unavailable to show us homes until 11 o'clock today, but he's also not answering his phone. And I thought, well, if you don't hear from him, I will gladly show you this house, but I want you to give him a chance. You've already had a verbal agreement with him.
You did the right thing.
Right.
You did the right thing.
And anyway, about 2 hours later, they call us and they were like, all right, he's still not answering our phone calls. Can we see the house? And so I took a buyer representation when I went.
Oh, yeah.
But also had told them I've set aside all day to show you homes, and then as well as the next day. And they needed to find a home. They needed to find a home within 2 days of being in town.
Because they were driving back to Washington State.
They were driving back to Washington State, and they had already looked at homes within the past 3 months in Montana, Wyoming, Idaho, and Texas was their last choice to move. And I found them one in 2 days.
You answered your phone, which a lot of agents don't. Now they have other family trying to move here, and guess who their agent is?
Me. Mm-hmm. I've showed their sons a few homes, and we haven't found the perfect one for him yet, but we're still looking.
That's what we talk about all the time. Every client's $1 million, $2 million client. If you treat them right, they'll buy or refer to you in their life.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Agent was too busy to answer the phone on $900,000. It doesn't take an Einstein to figure out that's $25,000 to $30,000 in commission that he missed out on because he didn't want to answer his phone.
I was in my car already planning to take hold somewhere.
We go through that a lot, though. You answer your phone. But for one of the things I tell new agents all the time, if you'll answer your phone, you'll be successful. So those things are very important. Katie, thanks for joining us today.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me.
We'll be right back to MHG Live. The greatest feeling in the world as a real estate agent is getting a couple into their first home and putting a couple into their last home.
No matter how big Miller Homes Group may become, they will always be your hometown real estate company.
We make our money the old-fashioned way. We sell you a house. I want to be one of the ones that everybody runs to and says, there's a model. They take care of their customers first.
Miller Homes Group, your hometown real estate company. Find an agent online at millerhomesgroup.com.
That's it for this week, folks, and we'll see you next week for MHG Live.